You're far away from the snowstorm that's walloping the Northeast. It could affect you. That's because more than 4,725 flights in and out of the region have already been canceled. We just received that updated number. The backup can ripple across the country. Brian Todd is over at Ronald Reagan National Airport here in Washington. It's going to get worse. There's going to be a lot more cancellations, Brian.
A lot more cancellations, Wolf and Kate. As you just mentioned, more than 4,700 cancellations now across the country. Now, a lot of airlines preemptively canceling flights through Saturday, Sunday, and maybe even beyond because of the storm. You know, this is a fairly normal traffic load for passengers walking through the terminal here at Reagan National for a Friday evening, but you won't see a lot of the long lines of people, you know, angry and waiting and just trying to figure out where they're going to go next, because a lot of people found out ahead of time that their flights are canceled. The boards here tell it all. New York LaGuardia, Newark Airport, New York JFK, Boston Logan, Toronto, canceled down the line here. We can go over to my right, your left here. The U.S. Airways shuttle counter dead as a doornail. They have not had much activity there. This is a scene repeated at airports throughout the eastern seaboard and beyond. Taking off from Washington, Ray Castro had a weekend of sightseeing planned.
We were planning on going to Buffalo to go up to Niagara Falls. They canceled the flight.
Amber Craig almost took off under the gun. Almost.
They just told us that our flight was canceled. They started boarding us, and within about a minute or so, they said, the flight's been canceled. We need you to get your bags and head back out to the airport.
More than 4,500 flights were canceled due to the blizzard hitting the Northeast. United Airlines is canceling 900-plus flights over 2 days, affecting 31 airports. We got access inside United's brand-new Network Operations Center in Chicago. Jim DeYoung, one of its managers, took us through.
The airplanes will need to be de-iced. The airfield needs to be cleaned. The ramp areas, taxiways all need to be cleaned as well.
Meteorologists work the weather maps. Other boards show all the flights in the air. There's even a bridge where the division heads coordinate schedules and operations, work with flight dispatch and incident response teams. How do they work so many cancellations at once?
Well, we do have what we call operations managers that handle the cancellations, so partnering with crew scheduling. We do a combination of manual and automated depending on the size of the event, and that was how we tactically, pulled down the schedule, if you will, and then assure we have the flights as the operation resumes, that we have crews and aircraft in the appropriate places.
Multiply that interconnected routing system by several airlines, and you've got traffic all over the U.S. and beyond affected by this storm. With Richard Abalafia now, he's an aviation analyst for the Teal Group. Richard, all these cancellations in the Northeast don't affect just one region, right?
It's far broader than that. Nationwide, you're seeing two types of impact on the traffic. One is point to point. For example, Los Angeles to New York, one of the biggest travel markets in the world. Also down south to Miami, north-south routes being an important travel market too. But also into the hubs and spokes, that route networks that the airlines depend upon out of Atlanta or Houston, for example. These are major markets that will no longer have so much traffic fed into them.
Abalafia says the airlines are going to lose tens of millions of dollars this weekend, especially because so many of the airports affected by this storm, like New York's JFK, Boston Logan, and Newark, are international hubs as well. So the airlines are going to be losing those flights and the revenue that comes with them. Wolf?
Brian, thanks very much. Brian Todd's working the story over at Reagan National. And flights, even though they're canceled out here, there's the ripple effect all over the country.
That's a big problem. It happens all over the country.
Check with your airlines.